What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Macho Movie Madness.
Oh, yeah.
I am Brandon. Alongside me always is Kenny and Andrew. Today, we have got a cool versus for y'all. It is a battle of 1982 slashers, and really about the only damn two worth a damn in that year. Friday the 13th, Part 3 versus Slumber Party Massacre. And, I mean, I only watched Slumber Party Massacre for the first time a few months ago.
Yeah.
So all these years and I still haven't watched it. And, of course, I've seen Friday 3 countless times. Just a quick rundown before we get started. Friday 3, like I said, both of these were released in 1982. Friday the 13th, Part 3 was directed by Steve Miner. Slumber Party Massacre, directed by Amy Holden Jones. And Friday the 13th, Part 3, if I can get it out, came in at a budget of $2.2 million. And made $36.7 million at the box office. Not bad at all. Slumber Party Massacre was a $220,000 project and brought in $3.6 million. So really not that bad either, I think, considering. Guys, do you want anything to say before we get into our versus categories and all that?
In our Slumber Party Massacre review for Warehouse B, this is kind of what brought this on. Yeah. We're at, I believe this episode 33, if you want to check that out. We were talking about just how underwhelming 1982 was for the slasher genre compared to 1981, which was like an all-time world-beating year.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
But lots of bangers.
So many.
We decided amongst the three of us, these are probably the two best. I mean, I'm sure there's probably something out there just real obscure we haven't seen, but...
So yeah, pretty typical versus for horror as far as horror movies go, as far as categories go. We're doing story, which is pretty much par for the course for all of our verses, and setting. We're doing acting. This time around, like most of our horror movie verses, we're doing kills and scare factor. Is there anything else we want to say before we get started on this? We just want to jump right in.
Let's do it.
Let's jump right in. Who wants to take story first? We're going to start off with story.
I always take story. Somebody else takes story first.
Oh, God. Andrew does always start.
Brandon, you take story.
Well, I mean, Friday the 13th Part 3 is just, your typical Friday the 13th movie. You've got not even counselors this time. It's just teenagers getting away for a weekend getaway.
To Higgins
Haven, one of the most famous and probably fan favorite places, maybe, as far as like at least the barn and the house
that was there.
That was there is no longer there. Also, it's the film that brought us the hockey mask for the first time. Filmed in 3D. And we can talk about that in a little bit later and what the 3D impact was for it. But you basically got Jason Voorhees going after a bunch of kids again, and he gets his hockey mask. Slumber Party Massacre is a little bit different. It's your typical slasher movie, but there's a lot more nudity than normal, which, depending on who you are, is not the worst thing in the world. Mm-hmm. And they're being stalked by a killer with a drill, which is fairly new.
In his Canadian vest.
Yeah, he got all denim, slick back hair.
With the red shirt.
He's just an escaped killer. What did they say his name was?
Russ Thorne.
Russ Thorne, thank you.
He killed a bunch of people in 1969, and
he
escaped. And
kind of like that hook hand killer escape. It's like a little bit of two or three things kind of rolled into one.
Yeah.
Just trying to drill some sense into people.
Yeah, that's all he's just trying. Yeah, that's what he's doing. And these kids, these days they don't learn.
They don't.
So he's got to take care of business.
Got their Maui Wowie and their boobs out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. What are you doing with those tits out? I'm gonna drill you. Means a whole different meaning to drilling you. Drilling naked chicks. Well, that's pretty much your story. So now the question is, which one's the better one? They're pretty much your basic formula.
I'm still laughing about it.
Kenny, still thinking about drilling naked chicks. Guys, keep it together.
Professional.
Yeah, we're professionals. This is a professional show. Excuse me.
He's all verklempt.
Yeah. Just embarrassed him a little bit. No, I don't know. What do I want to pick for story here?
Do you want me to go first? I've got a winner for this one.
Well, shit. I mean, yeah, I guess so.
Even
You
though
always go first.
even though I
Yeah, because it just says that.
So there's a part in Friday the 13th Part 3 that really drives me nuts. That's going to make me go Slumber Party Massacre on this. And it's the whole bit in the middle where, what's the main girl's name? Trish? I believe they're both Trish.
Yeah, they are.
Both main girls in these movies. Where it's implied that Jason might have raped her.
Right.
That he had a sexual motivation.
Right.
Which Jason Voorhees should never have.
No.
And that's the one part of the movie that I do not like.
Yeah.
And for that reason and that reason alone, I like Slumber Party Massacre, and I think it's a pretty linear story as far as straightforward. And I think I like that just a little bit more.
Although he did kind of talk rapey at the end there.
He did, yeah.
But it wasn't about that. Yeah.
No. He talked a little. He come off a little bit creepy.
Yeah. It was believable.
It takes a lot of love for somebody to do something like this.
You're going to like it. Oh, come on. I know you're going to like it.
Pedo.
Yeah. Weirdo. So you're going Slumber Party?
Yeah, because I don't think Jason should ever be sexually motivated to do anything.
You know what? I'm gonna side with you on this one. I'm gonna go Slumber Party, and maybe a surprising winner, but I'm gonna have to. Despite the iconic things about Friday the 13th Part 3, it just falls short in plot. And I know plot's not a big deal in these, but it just kind of falls short. Like you said, it's weird to imply that Jason may have attacked her or even raped her. It just doesn't make any damn sense.
He's got no interest in any sexual
he chased her, she passed out, and then she woke up at home. It just doesn't make any sense. And
somebody shoehorned that into the story, and it's just
it's really weird. It's really out of place, and it throws me off every time. Even when he kind of lifts his mask up and he reveals it's him.
It's you.
It's you. Oh no! I don't know. It just doesn't. Yeah. Let's do Slumber Party Massacre on the winner. Did you want to pick that as well?
Make it the trifecta, guys.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, there is not a lot plot wise. No, and
there's a little bit there with Shelley and the bikers.
Yeah, and that's not a bad thing, but and Shelley just being a big screw up.
Yeah.
Right.
That was more annoying than anything. Like you're either a fan of Shelley or you're not.
I like Shelley.
Yeah.
Well, one thing Shelley did do was give Jason his mask.
He did. So we owe Shelley that much.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's go into setting. This is a little toughy.
It is tough
because I said earlier, Higgins Haven, that barn, the house that was there, is truly iconic and very very strong fan favorites of the series, and I love it myself.
Yeah.
I love the setting, even though there's no lake.
No.
There's just some kind of man-made body of water that they did. It's still a really cool setting. It's really difficult for me because the Slumber Party Massacre thing brings it into a urban setting, which I love because it reminds me of Halloween.
Yes. And
that's something that's bigger for me is, you're in the comfort of your own home and you've got a group of people, and that's just a little bit scarier, even though the killer is a little lackluster for me in a lot of ways. It's still scary. So it's really hard for me to decide which one I want to go with.
I like the way it was shot too. It's very dark. Shadows everywhere.
Yes. It's a really well shot movie, surprisingly.
Yeah. For a first time director.
Yeah, when I first watched it, I'm like, this is kind of a stinker, but after sitting on it for a while, it's a good movie.
Yeah.
It's hard for me. I think I might have to tie it. I don't know. I'm thinking about it. You guys talk about
I've got a definite winner in this one.
Okay, go ahead and do what do you think about it?
You go ahead and give yours, Kenny.
I'm gonna go with Slumber.
Slumber?
Okay. You said it give off the Halloween vibe. It does that, but also I get a lot of with the high school stuff.
Yeah.
With the school deal, I'm getting like Revenge of the Nerds.
Yeah, I can see that.
Feelings.
Right.
I thought that was cool.
It feels like any kind of 80s teen movie, and but you just add that horror element to it.
And then the girls, with the sleepover, you get like a Black Christmas type vibe from it. So it was cool.
Yeah.
And not being at Camp Crystal Lake
kind of hurts it for you.
That hurts it for me.
Yeah.
It's still beautiful scenery, though.
Yeah.
I dig that.
I love Higgins Haven. I hate to take that away from because it's one of the stronger settings in.
And I'm going to go Higgins Haven just to be the devil's advocate.
You're going to be Friday. You got a definite winner. Okay.
Yeah.
You got an explanation for that just because.
It's iconic and I love it, and I've always loved Higgins Haven. I think Slumber Party's great, and this is one of the harder categories right here.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go Higgins Haven for this one.
So I'm the tiebreaker.
Yeah.
I love the barn, man. I love the scenery. The cinematography in the movie and some of the shots they have is really good. Now and I guess we'll go ahead and talk about it now. The atmosphere takes a hit in Friday 3 because of the lighting, because they had to change things around for that 3D camera. Mm-hmm. And it takes some of that atmosphere away, and it makes it a little less scary. It makes the things a little gloomy. But the cinematography itself, or the shots, the way they're set, are very good.
Yeah.
And this one here, obviously, is not as good, but it is good for the budget, and it's dark. But it is dark. And it is spooky. Man.
Which one do you like better?
In a very, 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 very close edge, I'm going to probably have to give it to Friday. Just because I do love Higgins Haven a lot.
Yeah.
That barn in that house is awesome.
I'm getting a little sick and tired of hearing you guys say Higgins Haven. Just kidding. That's a cool name. That's a cool made up name.
Yeah.
I really wish you hadn't said that.
Yeah. That place is real.
13.
It's not fake.
Poor house is gone though.
You're all doomed.
And like I said, it is very, very close.
They tried to replace Crazy Ralph with the guy with the eyeball in the middle of the road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody can replace Crazy Ralph.
No. Friday the 13th Part 3 takes the second category, just barely. Let's go into acting.
Ugh.
Oh my God.
Very atrocious in both. No, I mean, not even... Yeah, it's bad in both. But surprisingly, Slumber Party Mask, it's not bad. Considering the no-names, they felt like real people. They felt like real teens. Some of the dialogue is stupid. But you look at the dialogue in Part 3, it's pretty goofy too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's... With Slumber, I mean, it's ditzy teenage girls.
Yeah.
I mean, talking about teenage girl shit.
Yeah. Am I getting better?
Am I getting better? Please explain.
Boo-boo.
Are you getting better at what?
Yeah.
You left us...
I think you know.
You left us hanging.
I think you know. Yeah.
I think there's some pretty good acting in that. We were just watching a recap video on it, and the scene with the two boys there outside the door. One of us will make it.
Yeah,
just like that was really rough.
Yeah, one of us probably won't. I mean, and the killer was really uneasy at the end too, when he finally got some speaking parts.
Yeah,
it would have been better off if he'd ever spoke.
Probably, but it was creepy when he did. I mean, it was creepy.
It was creepy. Good giggle out of it.
He sold it pretty well. I don't know. I don't feel. I'm trying to think of all the bad acting in Part 3.
Shelly's dead.
That other than that, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God, Shelly's dead. I don't know.
I'm gonna take Slumber Party.
Slumber Party?
Yeah.
What do you think, Andrew?
That one's tough too, because that last little part, like I really like Trish at the end of Friday 3. Like I like her and Jason there at the end, and I like the part where she kind of goes crazy in that last shot.
Yeah.
But I'm with Kenny. I think I'm probably going to have to go Slumber Party on that.
It feels realer.
Yeah.
And it's not because of all the boobs.
That's right.
That's not acting.
Guys.
Yeah, that's not acting. That's just
acting.
That's just yeah. Yeah, definitely not. But there are a lot more. Just saying.
Is nudity a category?
It's not.
It's not.
It's not. It'd be a tiebreaker category, I think. But that's kind of, we know who's going to win that.
Yeah.
Okay, so Slumber Party takes category 3, acting. Kills. It's the big one. There's some really, really good kills in both of these movies. And some
What's your guys' favorites from Friday?
Favorites from Friday?
I mean, it doesn't look the best, but the head pop.
Yes.
with the eyeball.
Yes. Yeah.
Man,
Rick. Rick.
You know, we always say this. Growing up, that was awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's still awesome. But
Yeah.
when you're a kid, it's real awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, looking at it now, you see that dummy in the head popping the spring. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You look back at it now and you're like, God, that looks terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know?
Just like the scene, the one on the dock with the harpoon through the eye.
Yeah.
Also,
rough.
a pretty iconic kill for the franchise. There.
Yeah. Everything else was kind of off screen, wasn't it?
Andy's walking on his hands like a dick.
Oh, that was the best kill.
Yeah.
It's split in two, but not.
Yeah.
I mean,
Not really split in two, but when you found him on like the beams later, he was.
yeah.
And-
where was the guts and stuff? Where was the insides? Did he clean those up?
Yeah. Well, it's kind of dripping.
Yeah, he's a very considerate killer.
Yeah. And very quick cleaner too.
didn't want anybody
he
to
found the
slip
mop
and
and cleaned them,
fall on it.
and then he put the mop up, I guess.
Yeah.
In a matter of minutes.
But right before we came on, Kenny was talking about how he's not the biggest fan sometimes of like found kills. What did you think of Shelley's death in that? I thought it fit the character, really.
Yeah, it did.
Oh yeah, she didn't believe.
Yeah, he had his throat cut and couldn't speak, and
Yeah, she didn't believe he was dead.
Because he faked that.
yeah.
Right.
You already blew that wad, bud.
Well, and what's her name's in the hammock?
Oh, she gets the Kevin Bacon death.
She gets the Kevin Bacon death, and just not quite as good. Everything else is kind of off screen. And then you got Slumber Party Massacre, where you've got a lot of off screen deaths as well.
A lot.
A lot. The aftermath kills are cooler, but there's a pretty good amount of blood in this too.
Yeah.
Him slashing the coach in the gut was pretty brutal.
Him getting the girl in the high school
Yeah.
under the cabinet or whatever that she was hiding in.
Yeah. That was off screen too, wasn't it? But he got on the arm first.
Yeah.
A lot of blood.
Yeah.
A lot of blood for an arm wound.
Yeah.
I did like kind of the found kill. Of course, it shows him is her name Kim? Mm-hmm. Kind of the hot girl. It shows him sticking her in the stomach, but I like where they find her in the refrigerator too.
Yeah, that's good.
I like that actually better than Shelley's.
Yeah, me too. For like a gag find.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're very similar in I think I'm going to have to go Friday, just because there are more kills shown in the movie, and there's a little bit more like as far as effects and stuff. I think there's more,
A little bit more variety.
and there's they're a little bit more. Well, like I said, they're unique variety. The head popping, even if they look kind of bad now, I think you have to go that route.
The pitchfork
The
to the
pitchfork.
gut
Yeah.
is a rough
You know, the cigarette dangling from his mouth still.
Yeah. I like what she does to Jason there at the end, and I still say it's not a death, but where she hangs him and you see the effect, of him falling.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite moments in the franchise. Like, that's just brutal.
Yeah. So I'm going Friday.
I'm going Friday.
Yeah, that's the trifecta.
Okay, so we're tying this up now, going into the final category.
Good, because I was getting worried it was Slumber Party was trying to run off.
Right. So scare factor. Anybody want to take scare factor? This is where it gets rough because you've got kind of a unique but also shitty killer at the same time over here on Slumber Party Massacre, and then you've got Jason, who's iconic, but the atmosphere is totally ruined by the 3D camera.
Right.
Like the atmosphere of the first two are gone. It's gone. It's hard to beat the atmosphere of the second movie.
Right.
It's such
Yeah.
a good one.
The only thing that comes close to me is 4.
Yeah, 4's 100% better.
And maybe that's a versus down the line. I don't know.
maybe, but it's not. There's no question.
I think there's probably more scarier moments in the Slumber Party.
I'm kind
It's
of
more him
kinda
popping
goes-
out of nowhere. And
Him, he comes from the window when they bar the. And again, you've got the safety of this nice neighborhood that's not so safe, and it's darker, and the atmosphere is better. It's quieter. There's a lot of people that are in this movie but are just not safe. I feel like Friday the 13th Part 3 is just more fun than scary.
right, and I think you hit it when you
Yeah.
About the 3D.
The one part of Friday the 13th that scares me is the scene where he's looking for Trish in the barn and can't find her, and he's throwing stuff everywhere, and Jason Voorhees is actually mad, like losing it, trying to find her.
Yeah. Right.
But it's still, the way it's shot, it's a little bit too bright.
It's just it's gloomy, it's bright. It's got that bloom effect. It's got that weird bloom effect thing, which a lot of movies had.
Yeah.
The scene at the end when she's dreaming.
Yeah. When sees him in the window.
Yeah, and then he
rushes down.
Comes down.
That's terrifying.
Out of the house.
Chasing
her. Yeah. That's...
And then you have, of course, the other fake, that Pamela Voorhees gag that they did out of the river. There's a lot of copycat stuff in that movie. Again, I thought the killer in Slumber Party sold it well when he did finally speak. It's just hard to look at him and be like, man, this guy's...
I'm scared of him.
I'm scared of this guy in a jean jacket, and he looks like he's 165 pounds. And he looks crazy, but I'm just not worried.
I think just based on atmosphere,
I have to go Slumber Party.
I have to go Slumber Party.
Because, I said it earlier, it reminds me more of Halloween meets the Nerds, Revenge of the Nerds, or something like that.
Yeah.
Than it does. Friday's got its own thing. But when you look at scare factor in a Friday the 13th movie, 3's going to be towards the bottom of the list.
Right.
It really is.
Yeah.
As iconic and as fun as the movie is. I'm going to go Slumber Party.
The Triple Crown.
Yeah.
This is a hot take. Friday 3 is at the bottom of my list.
Is it really?
Friday. Huh. Right there with 5.
5's grown on me. But...
and of course, when I say bottom of my list, I'm not counting Jason Goes to Hell or Jason X.
Yeah, Jason Goes to Hell's the bottom of my list.
Yeah. If I'm making a list, that it's
definitely there.
Dead last.
Yeah, for sure.
But I never was like the biggest fan of 3. Now again, I'll watch any of them. Yeah. Anytime they're on.
Yeah, right.
But I will never just pick that movie.
Yeah. 3 is more fun than anything. It's where you start. It's kind of like the Freddy Krueger thing. You start cheering for the killer.
Right.
In 3.
Right.
With some of these just terrible characters like Shelley and...
They rectified that in 4 a lot.
Yeah,
I think.
They did.
But yeah, 3 was just kind of on its own. It's not at the bottom of my list, but it's not the best.
It's upper mid for me.
Yeah. So, well, and it might be surprising for some people, but Slumber Party Massacre wins its versus.
I'm not upset about it.
I'm really not either. It's not a bad movie. It's worth a watch. You can find it free on Vudu or Fandango at home. I think usually free with ads.
Yeah,
and it's
76 minutes.
It's very short. It's and it's one of the shortest movies I've ever seen, especially horror wise. And it's on YouTube, I think, for free with ads. Yeah. So if you haven't seen it, it's definitely worth checking out. It's for a $220,000 film. It's really, really good.
Yeah.
And it's got its faults like everything else, but I think this was a fair, close battle. And I think it turned out okay. And everybody in the comments, you guys can leave a comment, let us know what you think about it. And we're looking forward to hearing that. Anything else you guys want to say?
Not really. Not on these two.
No.
Okay. Well, I guess that'll do it. What do we got coming down the pike?
I think next we were talking about doing a little Keanu Morpheus.
Oh yeah, we'll go Matrix versus John Wick. That'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Little Keanu versus.
Yeah, his 2 best action characters, if you're not counting Johnny Utah, which me and Kenny do.
Right.
But, that's a whole other argument for another time.
Right. Okay, so we're going to get out of here. Like I said, leave us a comment below. Let us know what you think of these 2 movies and what you would pick as a winner. Be sure to like and subscribe, all that jazz, so you don't miss anything in the future. And until next time,
we're out of here.